Hey everyone, this is Tony Guan from LinkedIn Java team. I'm very excited to introduce you the JSuite, our new Java tooling suite at LinkedIn today. So here's a little bit about myself. I joined LinkedIn about 2 years ago, and before that, I have worked with Azure Systems, Salesforce, and Uber. I have done some performance engineering work as well as JVM development in the past. Currently my focus is to scale up the LinkedIn Java team so we can help our dev teams more efficiently. In my spare time, I practice martial arts, enjoy reading and hiking and gardening. I don't always dig holes for the plants, but when I do, I also break and fix the water pipelines. I guess that's some habit, bad habit from work. So this talk is all about JSuite, the motivation, the tools, and the connections among them. And later on, we'll have a very short JSuite recap. First, why JSuite? The motivation behind the JSuite is because of the JVM being so complicated. So when you have thousands of microservice instances running in production, it's very hard to identify which service is having some GC problems. And also, since any JVM related change may bring production issues, so people tend to avoid touching JVM options or testing on the new JDK, etc., unless it's really, really necessary. So why is that? Because there are just simply too many jargons and the tricks in the JVM field, and they are really deterring, if not scary, to our developers. Another problem we face is our Java team is so tiny that we just need to find smarter ways to scale ourselves up and to better help our development and the SRE teams. So to tackle the problems above, we started the development of the Java tools and call them collectively JSuite. Currently, we have 3 tools offered in JSuite: JDoctor, JTuner, and JAnalyzer. And we will talk about each in some details in just a few seconds. Altogether, we want to provide the users one-stop shop for all their needs regarding JVM. This tool helps us to greatly reduce manual steps on JVM optimization experiments and removes the mental obstacles for Java developers to start their own GC tuning journey. All the tools are web UI based, but we also provide command line to access for automation by the scripts. So first, JDoctor. So JDoctor is a JVM performance diagnostic tool in JSuite. It's used to help demystify JVM performance by providing stats that can be more understandable and recommendations for users to follow. So one of the most important stats that we have here is the GC health score. This is a single number from 0 to 100, and that reflects the GC performance as a whole. 100 is the best and 0 is the worst. Any service having scores below 90, we consider that is unhealthy. So this metric is derived from several raw JVM metrics from LinkedIn metric services collected from the production machines. Our hope is that this metric will help users understand when their service is doing well and when it's not. In addition to the GC health scores, JDoctor also provide anomaly detection that can detect common bad GC patterns. Just as listed on the screen, long GC poses, oversized heap, and humongous allocation failures, and so on and so forth. And based on this anomaly detection, we can start a mitigation experiment using JTuner that will be discussed later. So also we use a GC health score in different ways. We can either get the real-time stats for a single app, and or we can get 24-hour aggregated stats for all the applications. And also we track the historical data. When a service goes bad, then the service owners will receive automated alarms from the JDoctor backend. So here's some use cases for JDoctor. So we use JDoctor to identify services to be worked on, and also we use JDoctor to do the right sizing for capacity planning. We also use JDoctor to provide the metric for the other services here in LinkedIn. So another user of the GC score is JTuner. JDoctor has a dashboard view that allows you to view some of the JVM performance stats for almost all the online services at LinkedIn. So here, this view shows a GC health score. The scores are like average, P90, 95, 99 for a 24-hour period. This view is very useful to quickly identify the bad performers, and also to check the overall status of all Java applications running inside LinkedIn. So here I masked all the service names, and just in case that so those names are actually very irrelevant to our audience anyway. So yeah, it won't affect our talk here. So here we have the historical chart for every day for each service, how it's performing. And what we are seeing is some very badly performing services. So that's also the reason I have to mask the names. And here, this side is a JVM type. We can say some are using Microsoft, some are using Oracle, and actually also some are using other JDK versions. And also the GC type. You can see some are using G1, some are using CMS, and some are using blank. That means that it's not supported in our metric system yet. But those are, I guess, they will be deprecated. When you want to find more about one service and why it's so bad, then you click here. All these service names are clickable. So as soon as we click them, we will be taken into this page. It's a detailed analysis page. So as we can see on the screen, this service is suffering very bad GC issues. So the health score is 0%, right? And we can see some anomaly detected here. So basically saying that, okay, you have a very small young gene, and that may be the cause of your bad GC performance. So some stats here, and it's you can see here. So for here we are analyzed across group of machines. Right? There are multiple ways to group those machines for analyzing. So then among all this, within this group, there are some like really bad instances. So we list it here for the users to check. Okay. And user can also compare the two groups, two entities, let's say, the performance. So when you in the comparison mode, you select the service name, and also the comparison type can be instance, or can be across the fabric, or can be between just two hosts, or between like a group of like two configurations. You can select the observation duration here to here. Then after submit, you get to see the comparison here. So anything labeled as red is really bad, and anything labeled as green is like better. So they are all relative. So this one is like this group against this group. Okay, and so when you have any for in this page, right, you have we have some anomalies and we want to fix them. How do we do that? Okay, so when JDoctor detects a problem, JTuner is your friend. JTuner does JVM validation and tuning in production, but in a risk-confined way. With JTuner, the developers can easily experiment on JVM-related changes. JTuner supports testing on both officially, like in production distributed JDK versions, and any custom Java versions that can be downloaded from all our production hosts. JTuner provides like end-to-end JVM tuning experience, and also intelligent host selection. So meaning that JTuner will select those comparable hosts for the user, and also just-in-time JVM setup. So when the service is started, we can use the JTuner to download the JDK version for the user and start the service in place. And also after the experiment is done, the JTuner performance report will be generated and automatically sent to the user, to the owner's email. And also the report can be accessible from a JTuner UI as well. And we'll talk about the UI in the next slide. Okay, so these are some JTuner use cases. We use it to validate any suggestions from the other services. And also we use to do the GC tuning and the runtime tuning. And we use it to replace a certain type of GC. And we use it to test and certify new JDKs. And in the case that we got a patch JDK version and for a certain bug happening for a certain service, we use it very conveniently to test it. And those are like very minimum effort from the human being. And right, so here's how you create a test plan with JTuner. So the user can choose to ask JTuner to find the comparable hosts automatically, or if you are advanced user, then you can input the host manually, depends on the experimental needs. The first host here, so here is the control type. And these are usually the instance in this test plan that we don't touch it, and it's just the current production configuration. We'll keep it this way. And for all the other hosts, they are all treatment hosts. and we tweak the JVM options, or even like you change the Java version to start that experiment. So all the performance analysis will be a comparison between the treatment host and the control host. So once a test plan is started, it can be found in the JTuner test plan dashboard. Here in this dashboard, we can view all the JVM tests created. So the test plans are ordered from most recent to the earlier. And each test plan has a name, so we can filter them. And also, it's a service list here. Again, I master them just to avoid any trouble. And these are like the owner's email addresses. So the creation time, and for all the current status of the test plans, some are running, some are not started, and some are like already done, and also the report is generated. And if the user clicks the detail button, it takes us to another screen and shows the detailed info about the JTuner test. So here, in this plan detail page, we can see the status report button, and for this plan, also there are info for each tested instances. So here we can immediately see that the GCS score has improved a lot on the treatment host, and you see we show the difference of we show the JVM options in a div style. So they are colored, and some are here we can see some are removed and some are added. This test is simply replacing the CMS with G1 GC. Now you immediately get some the benefit. So when we want this is, and also if we click the view report, there will be a comprehensive report it's already generated here, and it will take you to the page that you can read all this traffic information, latency, and GC details, and all the machine configurations, so on and so forth. And when we want more detailed information on any of the tested hosts, for example here, so if we want to, if we have any treatment host here and performing very bad, and we can ask the help from the JAnalyzer. JAnalyzer is the third tool, and in the JSuite, it is powered by the Sensum from Microsoft Java team. And it'll provide deep analysis on a single host and presents even like a more suggestion for the user to fix and any anomaly. And also some functionality is supported by JSRay, and with JAnalyzer, we can do the heap dump analysis and get even more actionable suggestions out of it. And then we can feed back to JTuner test plans and start a new experiment iteration. Yeah, so, but unlike JTuner and JDoctor, currently JAnalyzer is still being very actively developed. So it's not generally available yet. But it's going to be very soon. So as a recap, we use JDoctor to identify JVM problems and to get some mitigation suggestions based on the metrics it collects. We then use JTuner to create and execute automated tests on production hosts. So if needed, we can do deeper analysis on any individual host for their either GC log or heap dumps with JAnalyzer. And then we can go back with the JAnalyzer's help. We can then go back to JTuner to do more JVM experiments. We are currently working with many LinkedIn teams to fix the unhealthy services. So when the new feedback arrives, then we kick off another round of JSuite development for the iterations. And we are also planning to add more tools into this JSuite, such as the auto-tuning, using our current building blocks in the JSuite, and templated GC tuning, such things like that. Okay, so with the help of the JSuite, we are building a JVM performance community within LinkedIn, within the company, and on the LinkedIn social media platform that we are hosting. Okay, and we are hiring. So we are very actively hiring for new talents for our Java team here at LinkedIn. So if you are interested, please contact me or this email address. Okay, should there be any question about JTuner, my team, or anything related, please don't hesitate to reach out to me via this email. Thank you for your time. Have a nice day.